From AZ Sports, 49ers investigate wild conspiracy theory that could be contributing to injuries. The San Francisco 49ers season is over, but this offseason will go slightly different than those in the past. Per ESPN's Nick Wagoner, the 49ers are investigating conspiracy theory that has really gained traction over the last couple of weeks. The team is investigating whether or not the electrical substation near the facility is contributing to the extreme rash of injuries over the years. Because it deals with allegedly the health and safety of our players, I think you have to look into everything, John Lynch told reporters in his end-of-the-year presser. We've been reaching out to anyone and everyone to see if a study exists other than a guy sticking an apparatus underneath the fence and coming up with a number that I have no idea what that means. That's what we know exists. So there's a substation, right? I'm looking for the picture here. Maybe it was in one of the other pieces on it. So the substation is right next to, here we go. The substation is right here, surrounded in red. And this is the 49ers facility. This is their practice field. And here's Levi Stadium. Allegedly, what's going on, what people think is the substation is causing a rash of injuries, and they spend 90, I guess it says where the 49ers players spend 90% of their work days. So you've got a bunch of injuries, and people are thinking that it might be the cause of the substation. Ian, what do you think?
I've been reading. I was basically taking a crash course through ChatGPT about what living near a substation would do to you. It says that there's 4 basic ways that it can affect you. One of them is EMF, electromagnetic fields, which are known to cause, it's like not really documented links of weakness, but headaches, dizziness, fatigue. Controlled blind studies fail to reproduce the effects, though, generally is what they say. So you've got electromagnetic fields that could potentially be doing it, stray voltage, grounding issues. So you might have electricity underground that's causing massive risk there. Muscle twitching, tingling. And I mean, muscle twitching for an athlete is like game breaking. Noise and vibration, underestimated but legitimate, it says, and environmental and land use factors, which would be like toxins and the poor air quality. But this, damn, electricity is so new in the human experiment at this time around that we know of. 150 years. Yeah, it's only a couple hundred years old in the last 100,000. I mean, maybe they had it before the flood, but we don't really know what kind of effect it's having on our bodies very much. And radiation now with like Wi-Fi and stuff, I wonder if it's part of why we're seeing auroras and the pole shifts is because of electricity. We have so much electricity. You can see it from space, the lights. It is a fascinating story. I just don't know.
I love a good conspiracy theory, and I would likely believe something like this if I had more time to dive into it. But I would almost wager that it's probably more likely the physical, these are the highest, most engineered athletes in the world. They're getting tested about every possible thing imaginable. They're doing feats of strength that many of us would never even be tested on ourselves in our entire life. And on top of that, they made the playoffs and excelled despite all that. So if you looked at those few guys, I would bet it's the physical therapy team and the doctors that are on the staff that are more likely responsible.
You think they're dropping the ball?
Well, maybe they're not indicating whether or not a person would be susceptible to injury that specific day. Like maybe their flexibility is not enough that day, and the doctor says, go ahead, you're still good to play. Whereas another doctor might say, if your ankle is tight and you can't bend to this degree, then it's a bad idea for you to play more than 10 minutes today or something like that. So I would bet it's the physical therapy team more likely than not. And I don't think that the San Francisco 49ers would outwardly admit that that was the case, because that would be admitting that they failed their own players.
With all the money that goes into, any NFL team, you'd think that they would be, if there was any substance to the idea, you'd think that they'd be aware of it.
Yeah.
Well, they are. So there's the Washington Post article on that was on this subject, and if you read in it, they're saying they didn't say which players, but a lot of these players' agents have been reaching out to the team, been reaching out to the press about concerns specifically that the players are taking longer to recover from injuries than any of their other clients, which is pretty interesting. And if you look at the map, obviously you have the substation there. I think it was on the third tab.
Let's see. Here we go.
The big red circle.
Yep.
So obviously, the circled in red is a substation, which people were like, that substation's been there since the 80s, and there wasn't injuries. Well, I think it was like 2004. They actually expanded it massively, and then that's when you started to see the 49ers have an outlier. They were outliers in terms of long-term injuries. And then also, if you look below the red circle, there's a lot of houses there. And it was also reported that the majority of players live in those houses.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah. So they spend about 90% of the season in or around this substation. So I don't think it's like something to completely dismiss. And like what he was talking about, EMFs to a degree have been reported to like disrupt the nervous system, which again makes it more difficult to heal from injuries. So I don't think the question is, are these players suffering the injuries because of the substation? I think the question is, are their bodies able to recover quick enough, which could lead to
more injuries,
like massive injuries,
or a small injury getting
like you get like
compounded or
you get like a tweak in your Achilles. But then your body can't heal properly. That's what causes the traumatic Achilles injury, rather than the EMF specifically causing a traumatic injury.
The demand to play and to perform at the top level is like
because
nothing
that's what the
else.
agents said. The agents didn't say, "Oh my gosh, this substation is causing my client to tear his ACL." They were saying it's causing him to recover slower compared to their other clients.
Maybe we should protest at the substation. Maybe we should gather a bunch
Is there a
of
church
bunch of
around that we
guys.
can go in?
Yeah.
Run in there.
You know?
Let's call up Don Lime and get in there.
Yeah.
Get some orange paint,
drove
bro.
by
It'll be
it.
fine.
What's that?
I still get some orange paint, bro, and throw it everywhere. You know,
Yeah,
it'll be
there
fine.
you go.
Yeah, it's a good
Cleveland
point.
Browns fan. I was up in Tampa. I like saying non sequitur nonsense stuff sometimes if you didn't know. I was
you a
up in
Browns fan?
Tampa. I do, yeah.
Dude, I'm so
I didn't know
sorry.
what you said, and I agreed with you.
Are you a
I said, are you a
Browns fan?
Browns fan?
I used to be when I lived in
Yeah.
Ohio.
You're
and
from Ohio,
They
so-
suffered massive injuries constantly, and people never knew why. Tim Couch went down. Kellen Winslow Jr. went down, and it was like, are we cursed? I think it was the training staff, but maybe they were.
I think it was just
or something.
having to live in Cleveland also takes a toll on the body as well.
It's the
Yeah.
closest thing you think you're going to lose.
overall.
Yeah, it was
The mistake
terrible.
by the lake.
So I was up in Tampa a couple days ago, and I drove by a substation, and all I thought was could not imagine living next to that thing. That would be horrific to live near that thing. Like, what kind of damage is that doing to the surroundings? I thought those things. This was like 4 days ago.
The intensity on your face when you're talking about it, like I believe you.
It's just emanating invisible force. You're like, what is that doing to the environment?
Yeah,
we
I-
are the test experiment.
I was reading about it's Havana syndrome, where like back in the day, a lot of these diplomats were reporting that they were getting sick for like seemingly no reason, and they're pointing to EMFs there because again in the Washington Post article, a lot of the players, I don't know if it was the players or the agents reporting on behalf of the players anonymously, were saying also these guys are getting sick a lot more often, or they're feeling nauseous and these sorts of things, and that was the original speculation with the Havana gun, is that they were able to deploy some sort of weapon that would again like effectively blast EMF at you, and so these things are all like, it's worth digging into. I mean, the fact that the 49ers are taking it seriously indicates that this isn't just some like kookery.
Well, I mean, I think look, if you're the 49ers owner, you know, and your players are taking longer to heal, I can't imagine that you would leave any stone unturned. You know,
Yeah.
the amount of money that goes into any NFL team, but you know, the San Francisco 49ers, like they've got a pretty decent history. And you know, I can't imagine that the owners would say, that's BS. I think they'd be like, go find out. You know? Because they have the funds to investigate it. You know.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of money to be lost if you lose Kittle right in the wild card game. Like you're losing a ton of money. So if there is any substance to, that's the other thing. It's like I don't know that the internet, as much as I love the internet and the collective power of it, would solve this faster than the people that have billions of dollars on the line.
I don't know.
Like
They
if
found Shia LaBeouf.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. You would think that they would be on top of that if they were ahead of the collective. I don't know.
hope.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I put this. I don't know if you guys still use phones to your head. I stopped.
I don't do
basically
that.
8 years ago. I was like, I used to carry it in my pocket.
I get angry at people that call me, text me. Like I don't want to be on the phone.
I used to keep it in my pocket, and then all of a sudden I started to get a dull pain in my left leg where I would keep the phone. I was like, oh, can't do that anymore. So I started putting it in like a backpack or in my back pocket. Now I have a fanny pack, which has an EMF shield in it built in.
Oh,
Got to protect the family jewels.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
right.
And I use headphones. I hate having this thing near my head. I don't know how far away it's supposed to be at night when you sleep, turned off. Sometimes I have it on like 6 feet away, but even then I feel like it's affecting me.
Someone just like there was an anon on Twitter. He just posted a video of ground beef cooking in a microwave, and then he was like, "This is what's happening to your brain when you're using AirPods." And then I got rid of my AirPods. I'm pretty easy to be persuaded on these things. Like I pretty much
was
believe
me. That was my video.
if it appears on my timeline, I will take it at face value until
5-year-old
disproven.
was detained.
Like it's just the reality.
So did you fall for the "This is your brain on drugs" commercial when they scrambled the eggs and then, or when the girl smoked the weed and like melted?
He's
it?
25. He doesn't know any of this.
Oh dang!
No, but like I do remember the one commercial where it was
That'll
the
do it.
smoker lady, and she's like, and like the shower's running in the background, and she's like, I can't face the shower because of the hole in my throat, I would drown. And I remember that, and I switched to Zins.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.